So Rebecca, you're looking very fit, ready for action, hopefully. So tell me, what's it all about?
Yes, I'm going to be running 250 kilometres in the Atacama Desert in Chile. It's part of a series of desert ultramarathons known as the Four Deserts. So they are the hottest, driest, most remote
and coldest.
Yeah, so I'm doing the driest one.
Wow, impressive. And what's the reason you're doing it?
Lots of reasons why. But the main motivational, inspirational factor behind it all is that I am supporting and raising money for a fantastic charity. The charity is called LIFELINE.
So the charity LIFELINE, just tell us a little bit more about it, so where the money is going, what it'll do. Yeah,
LIFELINE, it's just a fantastic charity which was founded by Princess Catherine of Serbia. I had the privilege to meet Princess Catherine a few years ago. I was hugely impressed by her. She's an amazing, amazing person with the biggest heart, and she has just been dedicating her life to literally changing thousands and thousands of lives in Serbia. The projects they do range enormously, from the help they're doing with the hospitals and the medical side of things to children and orphanages. But the one that I'm focused on and have become involved in and learnt about is the work they're doing with autism.
So what is autism?
If you've got autism, you have a massive problem with communicating with other people, but also relating to the world around you. And you know, in this country, for example, I think there's something like 1 in every 100 people are actually on the autism spectrum. But we do have fantastic facilities and clinics and awareness of, and people who are specialised in understanding autism. Now, you go to a country like Serbia, it's a whole different story. I mean, Serbia is so far behind the rest of the world in terms of their medical developments and the training of practitioners. And as a result, children born with autism, they have basically had no chance in life, no chance of having an independent life or any kind of productive life.
And Dominic, you're her trainer. Been training her for 6 months, I hear. How's she been as a student?
When Rebecca first mentioned that she wanted to do something like this, I broke it down into 3 main compartments, one being strength, another being heat tolerance, and another being the ability to perform day after day. You know, it's quite a heavy workload. So looking at the strength, it's a case of getting the body as strong and as durable as it can be. And through that, we do different exercises. We do squats, we do deadlifts, we do a lot of traditional exercises, but we do them in a way where you're generating maximum strength without putting on size. I think a lot of people have a misconception about getting strong as getting big, but it's not. You can get strong and you can stay quite lean and quite versatile in the way you can perform. So we got Rebecca strong, we're still getting her stronger. And then looking at the heat tolerance, she's in the Bikram studio, which is it's a form of yoga performed in 40-degree heat. And we're slowly reducing the water intake there so that her body is getting more and more used to performing without the water that it probably wants. In a cardiovascular sense, in a running sense, it's about being able to run under quite severe fatigue, you know, after multiple days of doing marathons in the desert in 40-degree heat, your body's going to be tired. So it's not about being able to go out and run a marathon, it's about being able to go out and run one when you're knackered. And that's what she's doing week after week, literally. She's getting very, very tired at the start of the week with the strength training and the heat training, and then towards the end of the week, it's about running back to back to back with a pack, with a lot of fatigue. And if you do that week after week after week, by week 3, you're feeling pretty similar to how you're going to feel in a race. You're feeling tired and you're feeling drained. And then you rest and you go again and you do it harder the next month.
The one thing that I found is, you know, obviously when you're running here, you know, you're not drinking a great deal, but there, you know, I was drinking between 6 and 12 litres of water a day.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And for your body to go through an extreme from, you know, maybe 2 litres up to, you know, 6 to 12 is a hell of a lot. So tell me about the weight you're going to have to deal with, because, you know, carrying a backpack all that way is pretty grueling.
I'm hoping my pack is going to be, I mean, that's about 6 or 7 kilos at the moment, and you know that gets heavy over a course of kind of 10 hours. But I'm hoping I won't be more than 8 or 9 kilos at the beginning, and then of course it goes down a bit during the course. So you've got these on the front, which have got, I guess that's 1.5 litres of water, so that's quite heavy in itself. And you get those topped up every 10 kilometres because, of course, as we were just saying, you know, hydration and water is a big part of it. So, yeah, so that's the pattern. I have my sleeping bag on the top. You have to have everything in it. Your sleeping mat, your sleeping bag, all your first aid kit, you know, so the whole thing. It's got to be my friend for 5 days.
So for me, the most important part of this, the fueling up, the food, what are you going to be eating?
When I'm on the event itself, of course, you have to carry everything. You have to carry all your own provisions completely. So you have to carry all your own food, and it's a 5-day event. So it's all freeze-dried food. You know, breakfast is freeze-dried porridge, which has got about 800 calories in it. As Dominic is telling me, it is just fuel. Forget how it tastes, forget whether you like it or not, it's fuel. And that's the whole point. I want to get to the finish line.
So there's the training, which is obviously very, very tough, but also in terms of mental strength, when you sort of get, you know, to a lowest part, which will happen, or you're not feeling great, how do you deal with that?
Well, what I've been finding is when I'm going out there on these long, long runs and I'm getting to those low moments and I'm having to really remember about my focus and I have the ability to change my thinking. You know, when you get to those, you just got to shut out the negative thoughts and really focus. It reminds me again and again, you know, if you've got autism, mild autism or severe autism, there's no luxury of deciding your thoughts. There's no luxury of being able to stay in the moment or decide how to feel. And it just is another reason why I just believe I'm doing this for such a good cause.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. Sounds like an extremely adventurous adventure. Well, we'll see, maybe another time, who knows. I ran the Marathon des Sables, which is similar to what Rebecca is doing. It's a 250-kilometre race, which is over the terrain is the Sahara Desert. So the lows with me were, one of them being the heat. I got dehydrated literally on the second day, and that was because I hadn't drunk enough water, and I became, you know, pretty sick. Second thing for me was my feet, which was an absolute nightmare, and that was due to the actual surface that I was running on. A lot of the ground was pebbles and rocks and stones, and obviously when you're carrying 12 kilos, it does make a significant impact on your feet. You know, it's ongoing. You know, when you start in the morning, you know your feet are absolutely already obliterated, toenails bloody coming off. And the only thing that it would, you know, really kept me doing is the reason why I was there. I was also running for a charity, and that for me is the real sort of purpose in doing this, is for a great cause.
Yeah, so you know, I've got to dig pretty deep, so I really hope you'll dig deep too. It's a huge challenge, but it just reminds me again and again, you know, if you've got autism, you've got a challenge for the whole of your life. I'm doing a challenge for a few months and a few days. I really want to make a difference, and if we can do that together with your support, I've got a webpage on Just Giving for Lifeline. So I hope that you'll all be really generous, support me, support Lifeline, and let's make a difference.